A hard and at times bitter campaign has come to an end. On the results, the People's National Congress, in the interests of peace and stability in Guyana, has agreed with the support of the United Force to form the government. One of the more serious tasks facing us at this moment is the attainment of independence at the earliest point of time. One of the disturbing features of the election, which we have noted, is the apparent cleavage existing in our society, brought about by colonialism and 7 years of mismanagement and misrule. It has come to our knowledge that despite the years of disaster suffered by the people of this country, a large section of the electorate was persuaded against its best interests to vote for the party formerly in power as a result of the dishonest and opportunist propaganda that, unless that party was returned to power, those people would suffer. The new government, headed by me, intends to show by its actions in the immediate future, and indeed throughout its term of office, that this is not true. The problem of racial cleavage, racial antagonism, and distrust, which the last government allowed to develop during its term of office, is still with us. But our government recognizes this as a challenge which it intends to accept and which it is determined to overcome. My government considers that it is a matter of the greatest importance and the utmost urgency that an atmosphere of relaxation be established immediately. The reduction of tension, which is already apparent and which will become more pronounced with every passing day, when it is realized that not only are we intent on being fair and just, but also that we have at our disposal the means to carry out our intention, is merely the first fruits of our attainment of office. Enemies of this country would like to see racial division and antagonism continue. They will not have that satisfaction. The government recognizes that its duty is to rule in the interests of all the people of this country. It will dispel the fears of the apprehensive and confound the hopes of those who seek the destruction of this country. To be specific, this government holds that all the people of this country are equally important, whether they belong to a large group or to a small group. To us, the Amerindians are important. To us, the Chinese are important. To us, the Portuguese are important. To us, the Europeans are important. To us, the mixed races are important. To us, the Africans are important. To us, the Indians are important. In short, all Guyanese are important and valued members of our community, and we cherish them and consider that as a government, it is our duty and privilege to guard, protect, and further the real interests of all. It would appear that the would-be destroyers of this country have sought to convince our Indian citizens that they have cause to fear because of the removal of the former government. We can assure our Indian citizens here and now that rather than cause for fear, they have much to hope for from the new government. This government is not bent on the confiscation of property. This government will not pursue policies likely to bring the races into collision. This government will maintain law and order. This government, while in office, will never declare its impotence to see that the lives and property and personal safety of any citizens are protected. We are fully aware that attempts will be made in the future, as in the past, to create disturbances. All of us know who are likely to create disturbances, and who think that they have some benefit to be derived from chaos and violence. We have no benefit to derive from such things, and we will stamp out firmly and ruthlessly any disruption of the calm and steady progress which we are determined to establish and maintain in this country for the good of all. We ask for time, patience, understanding. The damage done over the last 7 years cannot be repaired in a day. We cannot and will not condone and accept the nepotism and corruption of the past 7 years. Changes are necessary, and changes will be made. But no one who is honest and possessed of ability need have the least apprehension. The results of the election and the formation of our government are not to be considered a victory for one party, but a triumph for the whole Guyanese people. There is nothing to gloat over. Nobody is pantap. But all of us are, I am sure, sobered by the realization of how near we came to having our country destroyed, and how arduous were our endeavors to give this country the chance to live, to breathe, to survive. It has been reported to me that some established organizations have made representations to the British government about Guyanese affairs. I wish to announce that in the immediate future, I shall seek to hold discussions with the Mahasabha, the Hindu organization, the United Sadr Islamic Anjuman, ASCRIA, GALE, the Chinese Association, and of course with the Archbishop of the West Indies, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Georgetown, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the Congregational Conference, the Methodist Body, and other religious and cultural organizations. My purpose as Premier is to establish a consultative democracy. And now that the majority of the Guyanese electorate has declared in favor of the government in power, it is my wish that Guyanese in and out of the legislature, with malice towards none and goodwill towards all, will settle down to the engaging task of binding up the nation's wounds and charting a new course, a new road of peace and prosperity for Guyana.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Kaldata, Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I've been reading some of your comments, and you guys are spot on as it pertains to how a president should speak to a nation. Not like these pacus we have, belching out anything that comes out of their mouth or wherever else. It's like, yelling at the nation, yelling at their people. No wonder why Guyana is the way it is. Look at this. You heard Pops Burnham moments ago, and this is what we have been reduced to. Guyana has been reduced to. Just check out.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
Instance, when they come to...
Notice the caliber of leadership right now, or if you want to call it that, in Guyana right now. It is reduced. It's gone to the dog pens, or worse than that. They have dogs, good dogs in their kennels. But what we just heard there is basically from, the lowest of the low. the lowest of all of them. This is what's happening. I can't even imagine. Growing up as a little boy, I never imagined that this is what Guyana would have turned to. Look at what we have right now.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea.
Can't even speak, but he wants to give Venezuela a channel out of Guyana's territory. He wants to give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. Can't even speak. And look, the other one. Talk about this Pacu. Look at this other one. Take a look. This is what Guyana is right now.
Are we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, body walk.
This is no laughing matter. It's nothing to celebrate. What are you raising? What are you raising? Flag raising ceremony and all set of nonsense under this corrupt PPP regime. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but you know the spirit of patriotism. I wonder where it is. A lot of us are really forcing ourselves, you know, because even as they prepare what they call now their definition of flag raising, some of them raising the flag with blood on their hands, corruption, and all manner of things, stolen diamonds in their pockets. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but this is what Guyana needs right now, a president that knows how to address its people and how to deal with real issues.
At one point of Guyana's western border with Venezuela, the Renamo River flows into the Cuyuni River, and there is an island at this junction called Ankoko Island of about 2 to 3 square miles. According to the map in existence since 1904, the border runs roughly through the center of Ankoko Island from north to south, so that the western part of the island is Venezuelan and the eastern Guyanese. For some time...
Now, Forbes Burnham, President Linden Forbes Sampson Burnham. Again, I just want you guys to know that as we prepare, Guyana prepares to celebrate 58 years independence anniversary. 58 years. And look at what Guyana has reduced to. Take a look.
Are we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, body walk, truck, body walk.
Take a listen.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime.
A slight concession. Look at how, take a listen how Forbes Burnham, then president, addressed the issue of Venezuelan intrusion on Guyana's territory. Take a listen. The difference.
In fact, during last month, a number of Venezuelans were crossing onto the Guyanese side and have since then been carrying out certain works on our territory. The report of this came to the notice of the government a few days ago only, and an inspection party consisting of senior officials and 2 senior police officers visited the island the day before yesterday, Wednesday, the 12th of October. This party verified and confirmed the early report received through unofficial channels. In the opinion of the government, this intrusion by Venezuelans constitutes a breach of the Geneva Agreement entered into between the governments of the United Kingdom and Venezuela on the 17th of February 1966.
February 1966, just a few months before Guyana attained its independence. And this is how you address issues, and not these pacus that we have in office right now. Speaking of Venezuela, this is what has happened. The U.S. warns Americans not to travel to Venezuela. Americans do not go to Venezuela, and for obvious reasons. So we know what's happening. But yet a lot of Venezuelan soldiers are right there at the Guyana border, and Irfan Ali and Jagdeo and those Nimakarams who are pomposetting themselves as leaders of Guyana just do not give a rat's earth. You know what I mean? They just do not care. Anyways, as we prepare to celebrate the independence anniversary, there's really nothing to celebrate, just propaganda upon propaganda. The PPP has announced that they are taking the entire cabinet, their entire, are you hearing me? Are you guys hearing me? Lindeners, are you guys hearing me? The PPP is preparing to take its entire cabinet to Linden. What for, only God knows, but we can just read between the lines that it's basically for propaganda purposes, nothing else. And I do hope that the people of Linden are prepared to chase these vagabonds out of office. It's perfectly legit. It's fine. The PPP regime is an installed regime. It is basically an illegal regime. And this is what you do with illegal regimes. And I want you guys to read and understand. When I say there's not much to read between the lines, sorry about that, but understand what you should be doing in Linden when the PPP goes there for this so-called flag-raising ceremony in Linden. This is what you guys have to do. Not my words, but I want you to follow the words of this guy and do this in Linden.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic.
Well, the people of Linden now have an opportunity to do the same, to listen to the advice of what Jagdeo has said. Chase them out. They are illegal. Chase them out. Lindeners, you now have that opportunity to go out in your numbers, hundreds, probably thousands. We know you can do it. We know you guys have the courage to do that. I know the recent Tongue Day, lots of people went out, thousands of people went out. Why not have this day that the PPP, that's the wrong one. The PPP is heading to Linden. And look what they're doing. They're heading to Linden on Saturday. It's a nice day. It's a lovely day to chase them out. You're not doing anything else. No, no, nothing else. You have that right to protest. You have that right to tell them they are not welcome. They are not wanted. But look at how they're spending your tax dollars. Road trip. They call it now a road trip. Forget about the red marks and so forth and so on, you know. But look at, it's a road trip, right? These people are calling it a road trip. And so they have buses, your tax dollars, millions of dollars now being spent. And so if you're in X, Y, or Z area, you go and you jump in a bus. They are busing people to Linden. So the people of Linden are not going to go out, except, and I do hope they go out in their numbers to protest, to chase the PPP out of Linden. And if I were in Linden, trust me, I would have been the first one there to stand up in front of their vehicle to block them. It is perfectly fine. Nobody's saying to do anything else other than to chase these vagabonds out of Linden. They cannot feel welcome going into a territory. And I know somebody's out there saying amen. I know there's a pastor somewhere that is saying amen right now. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Aubrey. Lots of people named Aubrey these days, right? I know there's a pastor turned to his neighbor and looked at her in the eyes and said, Mark is something else. Amen. And so those people, those folks in Linden have an opportunity right now. How many of you guys agree that Lindeners should shut the tongue down and chase these PPP bloodsuckers out of town? Chase them out of town. Now, I don't want anybody to come and tell me, any one of the trench croppers, oops, I like that pronunciation, any one of those croppers, to say that I am preaching violence or anything of that sort. It's not like I'm too bothered about them, but we're merely doing what this chap suggested his supporters should have done too. And they did that to the coalition. So now is the time. We have this saying in Guyana, do for do na obia. Somebody interpreted for them there, do for do na obia. It means what you did to me, now is my time to do back to you. So in Guyana, if you hear somebody says, do for do na obia, understand what it means.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
Well, when the PPP goes to Linden on the 25th of May, that is this Saturday, they are going to face a different something from the people. Again, that is what Jack Dale has suggested. So they can't jump and say it is wrong or that Ben Shop or anybody else is preaching violence. They're the ones who said that. I am merely saying what they have said, that their supporters should have done to the coalition folks, to the president of Guyana, David Arthur Granger, to his ministers. All I'm saying is that the Lindeners now have an opportunity to exact the same. Don't let these people, you cannot allow Irfan Ali or Jack Dale or his ministers them feel comfortable in Linden. You've got to walk behind them. You've got to chase them out. You've got to make them feel uncomfortable. You've got to tell them that they are illegal, because that is what they are. And so you oppress a bunch of people in the country and you expect to go into their territory. A place such as Linden that they have neglected, that they have oppressed, that they have killed people in Linden. 3 persons who were not necessarily part of a protest, but they were murdered. And so on Saturday, the 25th of May, that's 2 days from now, the people of Linden would have to go out in their numbers, in the names of those 3 persons, the 3 Linden martyrs who were assassinated by agents of the PPP regime. Come on, guys, wake up in the spirit. You've got to go out there. And even if you're not from Linden, you're from Ituni, travel down to Linden. You're from Kokwani, travel down to Linden, because enough is enough. And I just wish that 10,000 or 15,000 people out in Linden would go out on the 25th of May, that is this Saturday, and send that message to the PPP regime. Now, I want to say to the elected officials who represent the interest of those who voted for them. And those who voted for them are saying, do not be part of any PPP regimes. Any PPP regimes flag raising ceremony. Whether it is Linden, whether it is Georgetown, whether it is Berbice, wherever it is, or Bartica or Lethem, do not attend any of it. And all eyes will be on Linden especially, We would want to see which elected official will run to the PPP's flag raising ceremony and raise it and take photographs and all these sort of things. We are keeping an eye out for any opposition MPs that would join force or join hands with the PPP regime for any flag raising ceremony. And just earlier, the regional chairman of Region 10 spoke about the disrespect. And we didn't expect anything better from the PPP regime, where they just, at the last minute, belatedly, they said to the chairman of Region 10, sorry. And the chairman is saying here, the Regional Democratic Council of Region 10, this is what they're saying in a release. It says here, less than 48 hours before such an important occasion as the Independence Day celebrations, the government has delivered an invitation to the office of the regional chairman, while none has been delivered to the vice chairman or councillors. While we acknowledge the significant nature of this event, which we usually plan and execute, the RDC was completely shut out of any planning or participation this year, even after reaching out in the spirit of unity to do so through the regional executive officer. The chairman is saying here now, my absence as chairman at this event will therefore reflect my disappointment at the total shutout of your elected council from this national activity, while I celebrate with our constituents the pride of our nation, achieving our 58th independence anniversary. Darren Adams, JP, Regional Chairman of Region 10. And now this is the divide and rule tactics they're playing. And therefore, I agree with the Regional Chairman, the Honorable Darren Adams, that the boycott of this flag-raising ceremony in Linden is in full effect. Do not accept, do not tolerate this sort of disrespect. No disrespect should be allowed or any further accommodation by these oppressors. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I agree with the regional chairman. And I go further to say that there should be massive protest in Linden. Linden or Region 10 has 2 members of parliament, 2. Mr. Sears and another, Jermaine Figueroa. I almost forgot his name. Let us see if the 2 will attend this flag-raising ceremony, or which other elected official for the opposition will attend this ceremony. All eyes will be on Linden. I will be monitoring it. And I'm saying this publicly to the honorable members of parliament, Mr. Sears and Mr. Figueroa, in the interest of the people of Region 10. Majority of the people there, 99% of the people are saying that you guys should boycott the PPP PR publicity stunt propaganda flag-raising ceremony. Mr. Jermaine Figueroa, please do not participate in this. Mr. Sears, please do not participate in this. The people will not accept that. The people will not hold that. They will not see that as any sort of patriotism. In fact, they will see it as a disrespect. And so, Mr. Figueroa, this time around, they do not want to see you shaking the hands of the oppressors. There is no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse. And Mr. Sears, the same. The people do not want you guys mingling and smiling and skinning teeth with the oppressors. They have oppressed the people of Region 10, and therefore for this PPP regime to take the entire cabinet to Linden is unacceptable. Absolutely. What do you guys think of that? Talk to me. Talk to me, please. We will be watching. All of the people will be watching. And we will not accept anything. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for saying no. Let us just speak for a quick minute on the phone with Apostle Nigel. I still call him London, but I'll be flogged for that. Not that kind of flogging, but let's head straight to the phone and have a quick minute with my friend Nigel, Apostle Nigel. Apostle, what is your take on the PPP taking the entire cabinet to Linden for the so-called flag-raising ceremony? Your take, sir. Good night.
Good night, and good night to your viewers and those who are listening. Thank you for the call. I must say that I'm certainly appalled by this action. It demonstrates yet again the PPP's attempt to test the waters here in Linden. They know that once they're able to conquer Linden for what it's worth, then they have essentially Guyana in the palm of their hands. Because what they're doing here is blatant disrespect and disregard. For one, their work's being done, in areas that have not been touched for decades. And to know that the report from the regional chairman today is that he was unaware of all these things that are happening and he's left out of the loop is very, very disrespectful. And I'm certainly quite troubled by it. I'm not surprised by it in any way. I'm very troubled. There are the Mackenzie Sports Club, by the way, where they said I couldn't go in with a camera to simply observe because works are ongoing and it's a dangerous environment. But they could have an entire event of this nature. Potentially, if they have to their way, thousands of people being there, and it will not be dangerous. But for me to go by myself with the camera to see what's going on was very dangerous, and I shouldn't be there. That's kind of hypocrisy and disrespect these people are showing to us here in Linden. And my hope is that someone or a group of people can step up and have this dealt with in a manner that really sends a strong message to this criminal cabal.
Thank you, Apostle. What's the word on the ground there in Linden as these oppressors prepare to march into Linden, bus people into Linden? What's the word on the ground, sir, in Linden?
Well, fortunately for me, I've encountered those who are seeing things for what they really are. And it's not a PNC or PVP or anything. Lindeners are just seeing this for what it really is. And they're saying, oh, so, for example, the boulevard by Mackenzie School Street by that area, they're saying for over 20, 30 years, the trees are not cut. Jamu will fall on mess, the train closed up every day when Jamu is in season. They didn't brought. Now the trees are trimmed. So people are saying, how could you wait until this moment to do all this work? So that's the word on the street right now. Oh, y'all are hypocrites. It couldn't be done all the time. But now you're rushing to get it done. And so there's hope. And people in Linden have recognized this thing for what really is just a sham. And of course, a way of getting money into as many people's pocket as possible. And that's what's happening here.
Thank you so much, Apostle. We saw so many folks, thousands of people went out during the Linden Tongue Week, all black and Rick Ross and whoever else. They had fun, and nothing is wrong with having fun. Do you think we can see that amount of people out in the tongue on Saturday to send a some message to the oppressors in the PPP that they're not going to accept their presence there in Linden?
I would be surprised if I do, pleasantly surprised. However, I would not expect to see that number of people because the culture of the, especially African descendants, people have begun to try to change it. This wicked regime, they're spending millions upon millions of taxpayers' dollars to change our culture, to make us a partying people, a wild, reckless people. And when things really matter, we don't know how to stand up. So I wouldn't see that many people unless they announce there's some artists who's coming to this event here to carry on.
So why not?
Even if there's 500 people.
Thank you. Is it too late to have a nice flag raising ceremony for the people of Linden and maybe Ituni and Kokwani at a separate location? Is it too late for that? To call all the people out of Linden? Go ahead, sir.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It is not too late. It is absolutely necessary, and this is where we're going to see the strength of the community, the power of its leadership. Because I expect Mr. Sharma Solomon. We have 9 or so councillors at 10 or wherever it is in the local government, local municipality here. We have got regional councillors. We've got 2 members of parliament. So I would like to hope that they have the ability to galvanize, especially their supporters and even the religious circles, if they're honest and truthful people. They should know that this is just totally disrespectful and hypocritical, to say the least. So they should be maybe at Bayrock or some other place, because if they could come and use the Sports Club that's unfinished, we could use it anywhere. And that's the kind of message we have to send to them, whoever we want to go, because it's our town.
Absolutely. And it's not too late for Lindeners to identify a location to have a separate flag raising and a meaningful flag raising ceremony there for all the people of Linden. We cannot accept these. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, my suggestion would be that we should have a flag raising ceremony or ceremony held maybe in the middle of the highway at Millie's Island. And the turn we say welcome to Linden, set up a stage just there and let everybody gather before they get into the town. Let them figure out how they get it. Because we have to send a message to people today. From today and start, we have to start sending a very strong message to them that you're not going to just come into this town and do what you want. So let's hold it on the highway then, and they'll figure out how they get into town.
What is your take, Apostle? And I know I called you at the last minute, and thank you for taking my call. What is your take if elected officials there representing Region 10 go out there and shake hands with these oppressors on this so-called flag raising ceremony they're having there? Would you be surprised if any of them do that?
No, I would not be surprised, especially if Figueroa does it. Because Figueroa has chosen a path that is unusual, and I'm calling a word on Linden like. It is very, very surprising to me if he steps up and says, listen, you're not going to disrespect people like this. You're not coming here to have your way. If he thinks he's going to galvanize people and they go launch a major protest in front of the sports club, I'd be shocked, pleasantly so. But I would not be surprised if they go and bow to these people, because the opportunities abound. And it seems as if people's priorities are being crossed and mixed up in the midst of all this oil wealth, as they call it. So I would not be surprised.
And if any one of them does that, I tell you what, the people will lose all confidence in them. All confidence, and maybe just rally around the leader of the list to just withdraw them from parliament. That's some very, very tough decisions have to be made, and we cannot have those who are there to represent the interest of the opposition, those 280,000+ people that voted for them. This is not about Figueroa. Right. It's not about any of them. This is not a self-interest kind of thing. This is for the people. And the people of Linden and Ituni and Kokwani are saying they do not want to participate or to see their elected officials participate in this propaganda sort of flag-raising ceremony, that it is not in the interest of the people of Linden or all of Region 10. It is just not in the interest. You were saying something, Apostle.
I'm saying that they should also hold the official leader of the opposition accountable too, and because he's a Linden, as he would say. This is happening in the area where by percentage they voted overwhelmingly for his party. Now, what is he going to do? Allow the people to send a clear message, which is we're going to go into your stronghold, as they call it politically, and do what we want. So there are a lot of people who will be held accountable after this if they don't act in a manner that's really responsible, potent, and quite pointed, because this is a clear act of war in reference to our political dynamics here in this country, and we have to see it for what it is.
Absolutely, Apostle London. But listen to Jack Dio's brazenness. He says, well, they defend the focus on Region 10 ahead of the enemy. Of course, for 23+ years, they did nothing for the people of Linden. Well, of course, they brutalized the people of Linden. They stole a seat from Region 10, and Sam Hines was in that seat for 5 years. They rigged elections. They stole the seat in 2011. And then, was it 2006? Sorry. They stole a seat, or 2011. And so They have disrespected the people of Region 10 and the people of Linden. On top of that, also they also remember the three persons who were shot and killed in Linden.
Correct.
That is
The
what they
murder
did.
of everyone.
That is what they did to the people of Linden. And I do hope that on Saturday that a message will be sent to these oppressors that they are not welcome in Linden. I'm not sure. I saw earlier that someone assaulted Councillor Vanessa Kisoon. Did you get a chance to see that? And what's the word on that in Linden?
I have not received word on that as yet. I will certainly seek to have that verified or clarified. Because I saw her today. I was actually working and I saw her and another female doing a live stream as to all that was happening and the glaring hypocrisy around the Mackenzie Sports Club area and so on. And I was certainly disheartened to know that, again, Vanessa is out here as if there are only two councillors or there's only one councillor in Linden. We have a regional democratic council. We have so many arms. We have two members of parliament. Why should Vanessa be the one out in the street today highlighting this hypocrisy? Of course, 20 plus contracts have been awarded, not one to somebody who doesn't afford it. Right in our faces. So why must she be the one who's out there putting herself in danger?
As I listen to you, my blood is boiling, so to speak, and how I want to express myself in words. I am restrained from doing that in so many ways, but it is gross disrespect. And if the people of Linden and the people of Guyana cannot see what is happening in the country, I noticed we have within our midst here in the comment section the deputy mayor, Dominic Blair of Linden. And I do hope that a strong message is sent, Deputy Mayor, to those oppressors who will be rolling into Linden, disrupting the community. They mean nothing good for the people of Linden. I saw that they are giving out 130 house lots now. People are signing, and they make it appear that this is the first time these things are happening in Linden. When the coalition got into office through democratic means in 2015, there was over almost 30,000 pending house lots. The PPP didn't take care of that for the 23 years that they were in office. Almost 30,000 house lots. And the fact that the coalition government went about to create 2,000 house lots and different things that they had in mind, and they did a heck of a lot also. More could have been done, but hundreds of people benefited in terms of their house lots, whether it's Amelia's ward or wherever. Hundreds of people benefited. And so to give this impression that they are doing something by giving out 100 house lots for people who have been waiting for over almost 2 decades in some cases, it's unacceptable. It's disrespectful. What is your take before, I know it's an impromptu call, but what is your take, Apostle, on the fact that they have bus routes and they're telling their people to take bus at Sue's Dyke Party Office, Jamun Tree, wherever it is, Swan Main Road. So a bunch of people, free buses and so forth that will cost taxpayers of Guyana millions upon millions of dollars. What is your take on this?
My take is that, as always, there needs to be a very, very definite response, a very clear response from the opposition, because this war has been launched against the opposition, against African descendants, mainly against the poorer class of people in our country. And there has to be a response that is very clear, because the PPP is going to do as much as they can, as much as they want to, for as long as they're allowed to do it. And somebody has to draw the line and say, no, this is time we stop. Because they're going to say tomorrow, as a matter of fact, that Lindeners turned out in their hundreds and thousands to support this event. That's what they're going to do. They bus people in here, then say Lindeners came here. That's what I'm saying. And hopefully the mayor can hear me clearly here. There has to be a military response. Stand on the highway if you have to do whatever it is. They mustn't come into this town any bus station. Because if we don't have a very strong response to these people, they're going to come in here and they're going to say, okay, then here we have it. Lindeners have accepted us with open arms. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to say that this development. By the way, the Watukudia Primary School, for example, still is flooding today when it rains. The classroom, by the way, more than one, flooded. because there's no window. The water, the boards that are hanging over people's head, facial boards they call it, about to fall and kill people, hit people's children in the head. They have done nothing to the school. For over 4 or 5 years I've been talking about this, but they could be spending millions of dollars in Central Mackenzie and other places because contracts are being doled out to people. So there has to be a response to the councillors. This is time for you to act, not in reference to the basic nice ball political figures that you are. You have to act in a manner that sends a very strong message that this is going to be a stance taken, and it will be recorded in history that when they tried to do this in Region 10, they were met with force that was necessary.
Absolutely. In terms of keeping with their constitutional rights, force that is necessary according to their constitutional rights. People have that right to protest. They have that right to say to the oppressors, we don't want you in our town. In fact, it's not the first, and the PPP should shut up when it comes to that sort of idea to chase them out. If you take a listen to this here, Jagdeo.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal.
All right, and that is exactly what the people of Linden should be doing to them this Saturday, the 25th of May. Walk behind them, chase them out, and whatever other means they want to. If the people want to block roads and do all sort of things, block the bridge, that's their prerogative. It's their constitutional right to do that, because Jack Dave said to their supporters to do exactly that. So do for do,
exactly.
Obia. In closing, before you go, because I'm not going as yet,
okay.
What is your message to Lindeners? And I know you said it all, but what exactly is your message to Lindeners as they prepare to see the oppressors roll in to Linden this Saturday?
Thank you, and thank you for the phone call. I would like to advise and to announce and declare to every Lindener that this is your opportunity to stand as a Lindener. It's not about PNC, UFC, PPP, or any other C, as I say. This is about your standing as Lindeners to be respected, for persons to respect the various officers that are here in this town and officers. And at the end of the day, just to let your children, if you have them, know that you stood for something in this community at a time that was so critical and crucial, because they haven't fixed the bridge that is causing us this issue every day. Every day. They haven't touched that middle section of the bridge, but they're touching everything else. They went across the bridge to do work. They work in Mackenzie and other places. They have walked along the Costa Rica Drive, the hospital road, but they haven't touched the bridge, which is the biggest problem, because they at least coming to check some kiln somewhere and some manganese plant that both sides doing, but they haven't touched the bridge because we wouldn't cross the bridge like that. So we must, as Lindeners, take a stance for Linden this time, for Region 10. Not about political biases and anything. Take a stance for your community. And let us be fair to know that if this money could have been available all along, then it must be available all of the time hereafter. And finally, I say to you that if ever we want to have a better Guyana, the PPP must make the effort to have a better approach into governing this country. And for the time that they're there, they must do it well, or we are going to react in a manner that makes them do it right.
Thank you so much, Apostle London. Apostle,
my pleasure.
Appreciate it as always, and looking forward to seeing you. We will be broadcasting some events from Linden on Saturday live on 107.1 FM. Thank you so much, Apostle.
I look forward to it. Do well, my brother.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Apostle London, there for you guys. Lindeners, if you are listening right now, Lindeners, enough is enough. And we say again, enough is enough. We cannot accept it. You guys have to go out in your numbers out in Linden. We have the deputy mayor with us. Deputy Mayor of Linden, Dominic Blair. How are you, sir? Good night.
Good night, Mark.
What's going on with this disrespect by the oppressors here? Lindeners are not going to sit down and take it. What's happening in Linden?
Oh, first of all, I must say good night to you and your listening audience. We find a disrespect from central government. As far as we got invited, I think it was last Thursday, for logistics by the Army, by the Chief of Staff, Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan basically was just giving us the routes that they will be marching. Subsequently, we asked Mr. Khan about the invitation. Mr. Khan said he's not responsible for that. The ministry, through the Minister of Youth and Sport, deals with the invitation and the invites and stuff like that, because we got no invites. You saw the live by MP Christopher Jones. All of a sudden, subsequently after the live this afternoon, they brought some invitation. The vice chairman, none of the invitation got to the councillors. It was just a few invitation. Even the vice chairman had not even received a invitation. You recognize the chairman put out a statement. Our position is this: we were never involved. I mean, politically, I could tell you from the council level. From the council level, we see the massive cleanup. We wrote central government prior to week for the town's anniversary for assistance in cleaning the town. We got no response. The different cooperation with the CBC, the SIP, we engaged all, and we had letters to each one of them. They were reluctant to help us clean the town. And you find out today that a massive cleanup is happening. You know, the normal PR stunt. You would know, Mark. You would know the PR stunt they try in New York. The same thing they're planning to, or they're right now presently doing. Yeah. Our position is simple. We were never involved because of something like this. We believe in nationalism. We believe in independence, and we have no problem. And we believe at this juncture, with you see what's happening with us, the territory controversy between us and Venezuela right now is time. At this point, we should be stronger together. You cannot have a flag raise something of national importance and not have the leaders of the area or of Linden not being involved in this planning. So we send a clear message that we will not be supporting the independence flag raising. We're putting other systems in place to have, because right now the region is mourning. As you know, we had a loss of the teachers and three fellow Lindeners.
Absolutely.
So we're dealing with, we are also mourning at this point. You know, the families mourning, and we're supporting those families. But we're working on putting other system in place when it relates to independence celebration. Look, if the level of disrespect is gross.
Absolutely.
You see what happened today. Yeah. You see today what happened with Councillor Kisun out there. She was just as a councillor out there, looking at the level of works they are doing. They are right now affecting the Mackenzie High School, damaging the Mackenzie High School fence. She, as a concerned teacher, was there. I, even as a councillor for the area, highlighted the problem. You could see the attacks by known operative of the ruling party. And that was disrespectful. I think we're looking at different options on that matter. I will not say right now, but what I could clearly say, we could say to everybody who's listening, and everybody who's listening from Linden, we would not support the independence celebration. This is gross disrespect to the leaders of this community. We will not sit and allow it. We were elected. We were not selected. We have a constituency to represent, and if anything comes to Region 10, it's only right for us to be involved in every plan, in every stage, because who best knows the community or knows the region other than its councillors and its elected officials.
On that note, we thank you. We thank you so much, Deputy Mayor. All eyes will be on Linden. People want the Lindeners to go out in their numbers this Saturday, even to have their own flag raising ceremony and to not participate in any of this so-called flag raising by the oppressors. It's not a flag raising ceremony. It's not anything that is genuine. It is basically there to brainwash the people of Linden, and the people should turn their backs against these oppressors going into Linden. Deputy Mayor Dominic Blair, thank you so much for your time. You were about to say something before I accidentally stepped
Okay.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like to add. Also, the community is dealing with a lot of heavy rainfalls with some of the substandard works throughout the region right now. Presently, we're dealing with that right now on the ground. Uh, a lot of areas are flooding. You see, I don't know if you saw the video with the residents in
Yeah.
City. Something
Yeah.
we were back and forth with the government, that the government through the minister of public works saying we were anti-development. You see right now the area, because they didn't put provision for no shoulders, no drains. Now you find that the because of the massive rainfall, we have an erosion in those areas.
Yeah, I saw
And
some
so
of
we're
those
dealing with that
videos,
right.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, and it's horrible. It is horrible, horrible. And this is the sort of substandard works that we're seeing in Linden and across the country. But we thank you so much for what you guys are doing there in Linden. Like I've said, Mr. Deputy Mayor, all eyes will be on Linden this Saturday, the 25th of May. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Have a good night.
Good night, Mark.
Yeah, thank you so much there. That's the Deputy Mayor of Linden, Mr. Dominic Blair, Deputy Mayor of Linden. Let me see, what time is it? I noticed some of you guys don't want me to go. It's usually the thing every single time you guys don't want me to go. Let us see. Linden, all eyes will be on Linden as of this Saturday. And people are expecting Lindeners to go out in their thousands, probably to have their own flag raising. We have an impromptu call here, and let me apologize to the Honorable Member of Parliament, Jermaine Figueroa, for this impromptu call. Mr. Figueroa, you're live on the air. I'd like to get your view on this flag raising ceremony by the PPP and the disrespect of leaders of Region 10. What is your take on this, sir? Good night.
Yes, good night, Mark. This is it, really indeed impromptu. But I agree. I'm of the view that it is indeed disrespectful that the government, and more so the Ministry with Responsibility, Youth, Sports and Culture, didn't see it fitting to involve the local leadership into this celebration. This is not primarily a government event. I see it as a national event that is being hosted by the government, and it being hosted in Linden, a community known for a lot of talent and creativity. We deem it very disrespectful that the ministry didn't see it fitting to incorporate the local leadership in the planning stage to the finality of the celebrations. And moreover, the lateness in extending an invitation to some of the local leadership is even more disrespectful in my respectful view.
You know, Mr. MP Figueroa, you as a member of Parliament, did you receive an official invitation?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I wasn't okay with the amount of invitations that were issued. I was called by Congress Place to say that an invitation was there for me to uplift, which I did. But I was under the impression, given the fact that this mishap would have occurred under the ministry's watch before, and the outcry and the negative backlash they received, this would not have been another reoccurrence. So I was under the view that when the invitation was issued, it was issued to every MP as well as all of the local leadership. But to my surprise, today I learned that the regional chairman just hours ago received his invitation. I mean, 2 days from now is the celebration. So I consider that somewhat disrespectful. It is happening in our domain. We have local leadership, and they rightfully should have been involved in the embryonic planning stage to its finality. So
Well
it was
said.
indeed surprising.
Well said, Mr. Member of Parliament Jermaine Figueroa on the phone with us all the way in Linden. So we can safely say, based on the disrespect of your colleagues and other leaders out there in Linden, that Jermaine Figueroa, the Member of Parliament, one of the members of Parliament for Region 10, will not be attending this PR stunt of a flag raising ceremony?
Well, the party has taken a position. The leader has said that we will not be attending. So I wouldn't be attending if that is the party's position.
All right. We just wanted to hear that from you. Hopefully you guys will have your separate flag raising ceremony, or the people will have an interest in sending a message to the folks who have been oppressing them for so many years to roll into Linden.
Well, I don't believe we will be having a second planning for the independence celebration. The celebration is the Guyanese celebration.
Sure.
It's just unfortunate that the government didn't see the need to incorporate the local leadership.
Because they
but
don't
at this
respect.
late juncture,
Yeah.
to plan a second event which required the military and a whole lot of factors involved in the celebration. Just that we will probably choose to celebrate the celebration differently.
I wasn't thinking along those lines in terms of any massive preparation. I recall even on the quarantine or even in Linden, as long as you get a football and you kick the football to the ball field, so many other kids will be going. If you get a nice pole and you get a flag and some music and you go to a ball field and invite the people there, you don't need any proper planning or logistics or so forth. You know what I mean, Mr. MP? You know?
Like I said, we will be celebrating independence because it is a national event, but how we choose to celebrate it might not be how the government may have expected it to be,
Fair enough.
Given this position that they would have taken.
Absolutely.
But we will be celebrating independence.
Got you.
It is a Guyanese thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. 58 years of independence. You weren't around. I wasn't around. Most of the people probably listening maybe were not around either. But are we celebrating? What is it exactly are we celebrating? 58 years, billions of dollars of oil, wealth. Nothing is really going to the people except crumbs. You go through. You're chairman of the what is it? The PPC. Nothing really.
PAC.
PAC. Sorry, Public Accounts Committee. Nothing is really happening. Are you feeling that?
I respectfully disagree with you in that regard. There's always something to celebrate when you fought to come out of the shackles of indentureship, slavery, and colonialism. Just unfortunate that the wealth that Guyana has not really trickled down to the ordinary man to feel the benefits. But besides that, to celebrate our Guyanese-ness and our independence as a nation, as a people, is something to celebrate. You know, so
something to celebrate, but the patriotism within the blood. I recall as a youngster, and when these holidays come by, you look forward for these things as a youth man, so to speak, or a young girl growing up, and these sort of things. But these days, it's like these people just, like they just pump all of the blood out of your system and then expect for you to clap. You know what I mean? But I say this because the patriotism, especially when you have a corrupt regime, when you have an unpatriotic regime that is in there, a bunch of unpatriotic people who don't give a rat's, you know what? Sometimes you ask yourself this question: what exactly are we celebrating? What do they want us to celebrate with them? To celebrate the fact that billions of our oil, barrels of oil going out of the country and the people getting crumbs? Is that what we're celebrating? To celebrate the Public Accounts Committee, where that the governing party isn't accountable to the people, and the Procurement Commission and GPL blackouts upon blackouts? Is that something really we're celebrating as we hoist the flag and we look up and we say, oh my gosh, and we clap we hand and we go back and our people out in Linden are being flooded? Look at the kind of roads that they're building there. Shabby roads break up 1 week after. Look at a school that has not been completed for almost 3 years now, cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Is that what we're celebrating, Mr. MP?
But I won't say that is what we're celebrating. I am saying that there are many things that we can celebrate. And one such thing is the fact that as an independent country, a country that is democratic, every citizen, every eligible citizen has power in their vote. And if that is not something to celebrate, by you using your power when the time comes to make the decisions that will impact your life and your children's lives positively, then I believe something is definitely wrong. But I do believe that is something that should be celebrated. It is our independence, and more so, we have an independence in our voice and in our vote. And that is how you need to exercise that power and celebrate that. Despite all of the challenges that exist.
Mr. MP, somebody might argue and say, man, even the votes are being taken away from them. Not only just their lives, some of the people's lives, like Orrin Boston and Quinton Bacchus and Headley and scores of other people, their votes are being taken away from them. Even a dead man's vote is being added, and those who are alive, votes cannot be counted. Take a listen to this before we go.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protest every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons.
Once.
Mr. MP, thank you so much for your time. That's Rhonda Lane reminding us that even something as important to ensure that one's votes get counted, 8 persons going out to try to get it right there at GCOM. I don't know, but something needs to happen. I don't feel comfortable celebrating anything. I respect your position. Yes, we, our ancestors and others who fought for that day and the independence of Guyana, that in terms of celebrating in spirit, I agree with you on that. But Mr. MP, thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate it. And if I woke you up, I must apologize.
No, I'm out. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, the member of parliament there of region number 10. They have 2 members of parliament. Jermaine Figueroa is just one of them, and we were happy to have him with us, and glad that he has taken a position that the party has said that they're not going to participate in that, and so he took that position to follow the party's line. And I agree with the party. No members of parliament should go out and support this PPP propaganda, what they call flag raising. There's no flag raising. The PPP doesn't respect the flag of Guyana. The PPP doesn't respect the people of Guyana. And therefore, there's nothing really there to raise. Why would you raise a flag and then the next day you basically you hang citizens with the same flag? No respect, nothing whatsoever. Why would you go to help the PPP raise the flag when the next day they will disrespect you, they will bulldoze your land, they will do all manner of things to you? But yet, because they want a photo op, they just want to see you there raising the flag with them for a photo op. Lindeners, do not go out on Saturday to the PPP's propaganda fund flag raising ceremony. Do not do that. And before we go, we cannot just go and not have the regional chairman, Mr. Deron Adams, for a quick word. This is, again, another impromptu call. Mr. Chairman, good night and welcome. We just want to talk about the disrespect of this PPP regime in rolling into Linden for the flag raising ceremony on the 25th, which is Saturday. What's happening, sir?
Hi, Mark. Well, of course, I would have issued a short statement
narrating the events as they unfolded. Less than 48 hours, as you know, before the independence celebration, that important occasion that we all wanted, of course, to be a part of. The government would have delivered an invitation to my office today. Now, you know, in every other region, especially those controlled by the government, where there was this national observance, I'm sure if you check, I think it was Region 3 and Region 9, I'm sure that the RDC and the municipalities of those regions would have been very much involved and played an integral role when those two celebrations occurred in those regions. Of course, you know, Region 10 is an opposition-controlled region, and we have been, of course, publicizing the treatment that the Upper Demerara Berbice region has been that has been meted out to our region over the past 4 years. So this is nothing new. It's unfortunate, but I believe that while we, as I would have said in the statement, we acknowledge the significant nature of events like the Independence and Republic, because these events are usually planned and executed by the RDC. There's a commemoration committee, and the right thing should have been to liaison with the RDC and the MNTC, coordinate with these two bodies in the planning stage, and have our participation as was done in years gone by, right? We would have reached out and asked the regional executive officer for information, because I know he interacts with the president. He's appointed by the president. He interacts with the ministers, and he could not provide us with any information. And so I would have made it clear that my absence as chairman for the region at the event this weekend will reflect, one, my disappointment and a total shutout of not only the vice chairman, but the other councillors who worked tirelessly over the years to put together the other activities for through the commemoration committee. They too were not even invited. But I still wish to of course, wish everyone a 58th happy 58th independence anniversary. And this is just the PPP being exposed for what for the party and the government really is. Yeah. They do not respect democratic principles. The elected component of the council has not been given an opportunity to function. You would have heard it coming out in the UN report. This is just another case of it being exposed. And of course, the nation is wiser to what they have been doing to those opposition-controlled regions over the past 4 years.
What's the mood like on the ground of the people hearing of this disrespect and the fact that how they've been treated over the years, that these people from the PPP will be rolling into town and expect the people to go out there and support them? The people must be feeling away. The Lindeners must be feeling away.
Well, of course, people are. If you check the comments and a lot of people are saying that they will not be attending the event. As I said, we have grown accustomed. People have been documenting these cases of disrespect. You recall at one, I think that was at a Republic anniversary, where instructions came that the mayor must not speak. And I, of course, would have said to them, not under my watch. And you have ministers who preach and claim pretend as though they're practicing inclusive governance and leadership models, sitting there and doing nothing. And so this is not the first time. It has gotten more blatant, which I want to remind our Guyanese that, I spoke at a forum a couple of years back, I think it was 2 years ago, when Ipadaji had their Coffee 250, and I think the theme then was the apartheid state. We are in a full-blown dictatorship. full-blown dictatorship. And no amount of propaganda that is peddled on the state media will be able to wheel them out from this one, right? Or they will not be able to wiggle out from this one. The entire nation, and specifically the people of Region 10, have seen the true nature of the government. I know they're going to pressure the part-time workers. We're told that they're going to be busing people in. 20 buses is expected to come from Georgetown. You know, the people of Linden will do the right thing. They will do what they know to be an example of what got good governance and allowing regional officials to function. And I think they will, they will feel.
We will leave on that note. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Darren Adams will not be attending that function. I don't think there's any elected official out there in Linden that would be attending the so-called flag raising ceremony by the corrupt PPP regime. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your time. I think you have something else you wanted to say, or yeah.
No, that's it, Mark.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate it. All right, that's the chairman of Region number 10, Mr. Darren Adams. He is quite outspoken with regards to his position, and I don't think anybody in Linden should attend this so-called flag-raising ceremony. It's a propaganda event. That is what it's about, and let's treat it for that, what it is. And I do hope that people can go out and protest in their thousands. Go out and protest in your thousands. Do not be afraid of the oppressors. You are there in Linden. You are being disrespected. And so do not be afraid to go out and register your concerns, to let them know, let these corrupt people in the PPP know that enough is enough. And keep an eye out for their enablers. In Brooklyn now, Bowling Green, some enablers of the PPP. You no longer saying house slaves and these sort. Say enablers of the PPP. They have a flag raising ceremony tomorrow, May 24th. That's 11:30 a.m. Some protesters should be there at Bowling Green. I think you take either the number 2 or number 5 trains or whatever, or number 3 train, and let your voices be heard. We cannot have the enablers inviting these people into our communities and think that it's all fine. It is unacceptable. And we need to keep sounding our voices and stand up and let the enablers know, whether they are in Brooklyn, wherever they are. So from tomorrow morning early, and in fact, I did reach out, and I'm saying this here, I did reach out to the mayor's office, that's Mayor Eric Adams, to ask him to stay away from the flag raising ceremony tomorrow. They have been spreading a message, I don't know if it's propaganda, that the mayor will be at that function tomorrow morning, Mayor Adams. Now, tomorrow morning, as early as 7 or 8 o'clock, call the mayor's office. Send the mayor an email, the mayor's office an email, saying that he should not attend any flag raising ceremony under the circumstances. Things are very dangerous in Guyana, and you have a regime that is discriminating and against citizens. You have a regime that is corrupt. You have a regime that is racist. And we do not want our mayor of New York City to attend this flag raising ceremony. And the enablers, some of them are watching this show. They're listening right now. They know who they are. Enough is enough. We cannot continue to accept the enablers in our midst. We just cannot. Whether they're in Brooklyn, whether they are in Queens, whether they're in New Jersey, or whether they are in Atlanta. I call on all of you again to not support the enablers. You know who the enablers are. You don't have to see them. You don't have to climb on a mountaintop to see them and to know who they are. You don't have to go in a bakery and put a roti and shake it in a bowl to know who they are. And you don't have to go on top of the hills and blow a trumpet and sing a song to see and know who they are. Boycott is in full effect. And if they are enablers who are embracing the oppressors, you know who they are. You can identify who these individuals are. Do not support them. The boycott is very effective in Brooklyn. It will spread to other states, whether New Jersey, whether Atlanta, and it will spread to other businesses. Because this time around, we mean business. We're not going to have step into this. And they have some people who say, oh, when you boycott is your own matty business, your boy, enough is enough of that foolish talk. Because if the enablers are breaking bread with the oppressors, they don't give a rat's about us. They just don't. So if they don't care about us, the big question is, why should we care about them and their business? Why? Come on. We've got to take a strong stand, guys. And that is why Lindeners, the boycott is in full effect. Boycott the flag raising ceremony. And if I had my way, all of the opposition MPs would have been headed to Port Morant or Albion Sports Complex for our own flag raising ceremony with the people, with all of the people who would be invited. And there are other grounds on the quarantine. Go Port Morant, go through Port Morant, raise a flag. Go to Skeldon, raise a flag. Go Mybe Curie, raise a flag. Go Manchester, Alnis, or Philippi, or Wim. Go and do that too. Don't just sit and watch these pacus make a comic of themselves. Well, that's what they are, clowns in Linden. Jack Davis going to Linden for a clown show. Lindeners, stay away. Have your own flag raising ceremony. Have your own flag raising ceremony, guys. Sometimes they say that we're radical. They say all manner of things. You guys see how peaceful we are on this show. Tony Hack, Ann Evans, and Don Sampson and all. You guys know we're peaceful. We don't fret. We don't jump up. We don't talk up. We don't fight and talk. We're very peaceful. All we want is a better Guyana. All we want is fairness across the board, regardless of who. But we're not seeing that right now. So then the question is, why should we be happy to celebrate 58 years, but yet majority of that, especially from 1992 to 2015 and back from 2020, as of August 2nd to now, is misery upon misery. Discrimination, racial discrimination, political discrimination, persecution. And then when we raise in that flag, and when you join with the PPP to raise that flag, keep in mind they're persecuting people. Roxanne Myers, Lowenfield, and Mingo, and scores of others. So then again, the question is, what exactly is there to celebrate? I don't know. I'm out of here, guys. Lindeners, be smart, be courageous, and stand your ground. Do not allow yourselves to be brainwashed by the corrupt, racist PPP regime. Stand strong. We will be watching. Before I go as well, again, let me just sound the call for justice for this family. Justice for this family. Jared Jagnanan. The family want justice for their son. But the DPP and the police, they're denying this young man's family justice. Is that what we're celebrating? 58 years of independence, and now our oil wealth is being shipped out of the country, billions upon billions of barrels. Is it that we're celebrating dependency or independence? I don't know. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. God bless you all. So long.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Scott, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Scott, radio station is the fruit. Mark Scott, straight up from the root. Mark Scott, who tell the truth? Mark Scott, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Scott, radio station is the fruit. Mark Scott, straight up from the root. Mark Scott, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up, my friend.
Well, you know, I just have to return because I don't want Rhonda Lane. She has made a lot of sacrifices for us, and she already saying that there's an ad, so I had to quickly look for it. She's saying that people should come out on Saturday, the 25th of May, between 9 to 4 p.m. for a pictorial exhibition. And it's going to be opposite Border Market and the post. You know, she probably type it here, so sorry about that, Rhonda. But please come. Also, there will be a line starting at 4 p.m. Please come and join us. There's this Regent Street, Georgetown. Yeah, we'll carry it again tomorrow. Maybe Rhonda can come and tell us a little bit about this line they have on the 25th of May. It's a nice line. I wish I was there to be at that line, because this is where you will have more respect and patriotism and so forth, and love for country, than to be in Linden amongst those pacus, those crocodiles in the PPP. Thank you so much, Rhonda, but we can have you on for a couple of minutes tomorrow night. Again, I just had to come back on to say this out of respect for Rhonda. Rhonda Lane, that is, a good Rhonda, a bright young Rhonda, a courageous Rhonda, a Rhonda who went to school. Rhonda Lane, that is. Thank you so much, Rhonda, and again, thanks to all of our people. God bless you.
To which agreement the government of Guyana is now a party. And today, I have sent a cable to Dr. Iribarren Borges, the foreign minister of Venezuela, strongly protesting the intrusion of Venezuelan personnel onto Guyanese territory and asking that immediate steps be taken by the government of Venezuela to ensure the immediate withdrawal of all such personnel. I have this morning informed the leader of the opposition of the situation and held discussions with him. Meanwhile, I await a reply from the Venezuelan government. I consider it my duty.
My name is Jacinti Caldata, Francis, Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.